That made me so emotional. Oh my god, because I've been there. I know what it feels like, just not feeling like you don't fit in anywhere and you don't have anybody. And you just wish somebody will reach out to you. You don't feel like crossing that line because everybody told you that line is wrong. So you really just embrace the other side because you know this side, you can't change who you are. It's just who you are. And everybody see her like, oh, she's this evil villain, evil person, but she's just like, no, that's just who I am. I'm not trying to be evil, but if being evil means I can't to be myself, then I'll be in the league. I'll be a villain, you know? Yeah, there's just something so beautiful about this anime. Like it has times where it's so melodramatic, I think. I just think they do such a beautiful job of like setting up each character's background and their history, and like certain things you probably think is straightforward, it's not. And I really appreciate that they give every character, even small side characters, their opportunity to shine. Even if it's like a character you never really think about, because I mean the show is kind of like my hero, right? Like your hero could be anybody, right? And I think that's kind of like the poetic beauty of this anime is that my hero could be your hero could be anyone. It doesn't have to be the main character. And I like that they give other characters a chance to shine because there are so many possibilities of these other characters having like amazing abilities where their abilities and the powers are so immense. And all that too is like the way it's utilized me like shows you like how strong it can be, right? So like it might seem like a simple power, right? But if you know how to utilize it, right, and if you fully embrace what you have and understand the disadvantages that you have, you can truly do more with it than what you would never believe. And that's one thing with her power. Oh my god, I keep mixing up her name. Tamura Tutuya. Oh my god. But that scene, and her childhood growing up, and the fact that like no one understood or gave her the opportunity to just be like, okay, this is who you are. Okay, that's fine. I respect and I appreciate who you are, and there's so much more to you than just you drinking blood, right? And I mean, in the beginning, it came across as like, yeah, there's this girl here that drinks blood, and it's in a sexual tone. It can have that kind of way, right? But it's like you dig deeper and you realize like it's generally she just wants love and be accepted as her, being in a society that you just don't believe that the type of power or the type of things that you like is fully accepted by society really makes you in such conflict with yourself. And I've been there where like I'm from Jamaica, right? And in Jamaica it's highly Christian belief, right? And for me growing up, like my way of dealing with things was just like I listened to heavy metal music and dress in black and stuff like that. And like for Americans that isn't something that's really crazy or out there. To an extent it can be, right? And especially I mean, I'm sure like previous years it was definitely more like not taboo, but definitely more like you're an outcast person. And in some ways, there is a reason why deviants like really are drawn to that type of group or like being seen in that way. And it's not because like, yeah, I think death is good and stuff like. It's like no, I know I'll be embraced being weird. I'll be embraced being the weird person that I am. And growing up in Jamaica, where I used to go to raves and everything, I saw so many of these people who they love heavy metal, they dress in chains and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my God, these are people that understand me. And even then, like I've always struggled with just feeling like maybe something is wrong with me. And here is Acharu who didn't want to give her a chance at the beginning, right? Because she was looking at the same things that society was looking on with her, and just to find out like, hey, there are other things to her. She is more than just what society perceives, you know. Um, and I thought that was just, oh my god, that was so beautiful. I love this episode. Holy sh! To make it a lot like one more episode to the final, and this is the episode. I mean, here is it like people are expecting like Bakugo or like like some crazy big names and stuff. But it's like no, here's an episode that we're dealing with a different aspect of what is to be a villain, and it has nothing to do with the fact that yes, we all want evil, like we crave to be evil. It's just like we have our own perceived notion or beliefs or stuff that we went through that have fully solidified how we perceive the world. And it has nothing to do with like, yeah, I want the world to burn. It always stems from something very particular, and it always lead back to your childhood. Even in therapy, that I take therapy, a lot of my problems and everything leads directly back to childhood. And for her, it was just for Toga, it was just like such a conflict. She was so much in conflict with herself, like trying to figure out like why does she crave the attention from Deku, or why she crave for like from uh from Ochiru, you know? And it's just like she wants to be seen as who she is, right? Like that she can be a hero without being perceived as a demon or like a villain blood, right? Like a villain powers or something like that. It's just like anybody can have powers. She's just being who she is. She likes blood. Bloods make her feel closer to people, and that's just the way that how she feels. It has nothing to do with who she is entirely, right? It's part of who she is and part of like to have a ability that is so deeply rooted in yourself, right? Like a lot of the characters' abilities, like they have what is it like Bakugo, sweat glands, you have uh and they brought up that same topic too with the what's his name, the guy with the six arms and stuff like that. That was a great episode, and it just shows you that like people like villains aren't like born; they're made, and sadly, we turn our backs on them as society. They don't fit into this this box that we created. Somehow it's like you can't be here, you know? And it's so sad. And this episode just made me I got chills when Hacharu was just like you see that she have our a new power. Basically like everybody's like having their moment and she have her new power, and I'm just like, oh my god, I got chills in that moment. And then she's just like talking to her, trying to reach to her. That was so beautiful. Like she acknowledges her own mistakes, right? That even being a hero, you are the hero that is for everybody. You shouldn't be a hero for one type of specific type of people, right? Or person or whatever like that, just because of how they are. And I just thought this was a really beautiful episode. Like I didn't know where it was going to go, and I'm just like, I just think this was a very needed episode, right? Because her story, Toga's story has been going on for a while, and for sometimes it hasn't really been clear left from right. Like you kind of have an idea of what it causing it, but the fact that this was what like she needed, she just needed somebody to tell her, "Hey, I accept you," and it's not just like anybody, right? Because villains will accept her as how she is. Like there's no doubt about it, right? Even if she don't want like, and that's the thing. It's like you want to hear it from the person that you never even would think consider that will give you this opportunity, and that's what she wanted. She wanted to hear from from a Chaco that she's important. Like she loves her as who she is. And people be like, yeah, well, you could have self love. Yeah, self love is a great thing, But when you are in a particular when you're dealing with demons, right? Your personal demons, it is hard to be like, yeah, I love myself as a wife. And in some ways, she does accept herself for who she is, right? But it's such a conflict when you live in a world with other people. It's not like she's living in a world by herself. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, anyways, I thought it was a really good episode. I fully love it. I think I'll watch it again. I even got emotional. I mean, I can completely relate to her, and it's crazy. That was a really beautiful episode. But yeah, so we'll stay tuned, and I'm watching the season finale of season 7 of My Hero. So bye. It's the interesting tidbit. We're here. Okay.